Yeah. If you have the chanting book, that would help. So with the Pali chanting that we are going to do, and we'll stop at 5 precepts here on the first page. Okay? Can you all hear me well? Good. Please join your palms together, and you may as well close your eyes if you know the verses in your mind, and join me in the chanting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānāti pātā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Surāmēraya majjapamā datthāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, good morning everyone. Hope you had some breakfast before coming here, and I'm so glad we started on time, and so glad to see you all as well here in Fonseca Community Center, which was donated by him and her. It's a large property, so you may get lost. So remember, when you go to the restroom, you may need to remember where the restroom is, because we have restrooms also in the, the place that was used to call the daycare center, which is now the Sunday school place. If these are locked or somebody is using them, you can go there. I'm not sure if all that facility is usable, but please go and check. We did not turn on heat in that side, so wear a jacket when you go, or shoes in that side. We will not wear shoes in this area. So we do have enough facility here for this number of people. And please turn off your cell phones, abstain from taking calls and talking to others during this retreat. We don't need that. If you do have something, please hold it until the question time comes. Or if you have to make a phone call, you may go outside and do that in such a way that you are not disturbing anybody. I'm not going to go after anyone and say, be quiet and things like that, because it's not nice. And drink plenty of water and use your freedom all the time if you want to stretch or do anything. And if you have any burning questions, don't hold them too long. Don't be stressed. Feel free to raise your hand and ask. And we are going to really do this retreat with a lot of guided meditations. And this time Bhante Sankitja is in Sri Lanka, so unfortunately we can't get his teachings. It would be wonderful if he was here. But you are stuck with me for 2 days, and I know you will try to put up with whatever that comes during this retreat. So any housekeeping stuff, no cell phones. There is tea always available downstairs. If you see that water, you need to put water into the boilers, feel free to do so using the kitchen just right behind the table, the tea coffee table. And so when you use plastic bottles, we have placed a box where you can put the recycle, so you can recycle the bottles there. So please mind on that, always recycle. We are trying to minimize the plastic use within our properties here and in Beach Road property. And we are discussing about installing water fountains so people can use them instead of using water bottles. We are trying to go green as much as possible, so to care for the environment. And the other thing is, we have a box placed at the reception desk where you can put your questions, and those papers are there, and a pen will be available. So you just write your question and drop it there. If you need to talk to someone, I think that's also a way you can use one of those chits and drop it there, and if they are really inclined, they may respond you in the same way. So you are not really disturbing their contemplation in a way, because this practice is mostly about analyzing things in your mind. And for that, I think when you try to talk to someone, you don't know whether they are really in meditation or ready to break the silence. So let's mind on that as well. If anything comes up, I will let you know. So any questions? Nothing so far. I think you all are familiar with what we all do. Okay, so Vipassana is the theme of this retreat. And we have not done a retreat on Vipassana in the recent past. So what is Vipassana? Yes, Vipassana means insight, not inside, but in a way we go inside, inward, to see the process as the process actually become. Some people say seeing things as they truly are, which is also a way to look at it, but because they constantly arise and pass away, so you are seeing things as they arise and as they pass away. And this is a practice you can do anywhere in the world, as long as you pay attention to it. Without much attention, we are ignoring what arises and passes away. So, what needs to be done is constantly be mindful about what you are supposed to be doing. So, there is a Pali, phrase on Vipassana, which is Visesena Passati iti Vipassana. So, Passati here means seeing, Visesena, seeing in a special way. Therefore, it is called Vipassana. So, now we are seeing the ordinary way. You just look at things, understand things, cognize them. Now, seeing in a special way means you are seeing the process from the start to the end, and being mindful not to miss any piece of that process. So, you understand it, and if you are very sharp enough, you are able to see it really quickly. And in doing that, greater insight, wisdom appear to you and show in front of you, and these insights awaken your mind. So, Visesena Passati iti Vipassana, seeing in a significant way, in a way that is not ordinary. That is the meaning of that phrase. Together, we also do samatha practice. So, samatha and vipassana, they go together. Samatha is tranquility. In Sanskrit, it is shamatha. So, there is weight to that word like shamatha. When they do shamatha, you are slowly preparing a space for you to stay tranquilled in your mind. I think tranquilled is the right word, right? Tranquilled. And there is this balance of the mind that prepares the stage for you to awaken your insights. Vipassana. And if you may ask whether you do samatha first and then go to vipassana, or vipassana first and go to samatha, both are wrong questions. So, why are they wrong? Because they are like two sides of a coin. You can't separate them. It's just like the palm, this side exists because there is that side. So, they are connected together. What you all need to know is that when you do samatha, you are doing some supportive meditation for vipassana. When you do vipassana, you are supporting your samatha. What matters is doing it right and doing it without a doubt. If there is a doubt, your mind will be clouded. With that cloudy mind, your progress will be hindered. Slow progress. And that is somewhat discouraging. And there is a high chance that kind of a person gets bored and abandon the practice. And now, these are minor but very important things to say. Someone might think that the sitting posture is critical. Yes, it is. But if it gives you pain, you need to make that decision to change your posture. Because we are getting used to sitting longer, and some people ask, like, how long should I sit? And I would say 6 hours, because that's how long we have sat in our meditation when we do long retreats, and sometimes more. And we have I have seen my friends doing that Welcome, please join us. So when you have a question like that, how long you sit and whether you are skipping breakfast or lunch, never mind, there will be food for you. If your sitting practice is going very well, just continue sitting and don't have to break it because we are not taking a rule precept here to we just did 5 precepts and we can ask somebody to leave some food for you. So don't really pressurize yourself about. I have done that, sometimes it's 5 in the evening and then I need to get up for tea, and that strong thought comes that okay, I should go, if not I will miss it. I have done that and I regret doing that, because at that moment is when you really begin to get it, and then you make that unwise decision to go for tea, and you see people and then you see monks, and then your practice is never the same when you go back and sit. So when you feel like it's going very well, just trust that instinct and continue sitting. So if you are nodding, like this happens and that happens, that means you are enjoying all your freedom, and that's okay. Nobody is here to judge you. If you are really feeling sleepy, find a spot and sleep. That way you can don't snore here. That way you can get a good, rest a little. Like sometimes I remember in my graduate program, in our library, we had a place called Silent Room. And when you go there, you don't talk to anybody, you don't even greet to your best friend, you just say that. And there is a couch, and there is competition for the couch, especially after lunch, because people love to take a 5-minute nap in there. And when that is done, they are ready to study. They know that it's not their home, so they don't go too long. Sometimes the body needs that. So get that break and then come back to your sitting, and I think you will have miraculous changes in your practice. So listen to the body cues, and that way you are being kind to your body. Before you do any vipassana or samatha, be kind to your body. So that also includes not eating too much, which is also part of why we feel sleepy, and not eating too little, which is also exhausting for the body, because the body needs to generate more energy. And sometimes lack of sleep contributes to that, and having too much judgment in mind and being very critical about this and that, being analytical about family members or people here or the teachings or something. These will be stumbling blocks that you need to overcome, and they are impediments for your practice. To have clarity, refocus on samatha, refocus on vipassana, use it as a bridge to develop, cultivate your mind. As I often say, this mind needs to be very well understood, and I present you 2 similes before any retreat. The first one is one that I adapted from Ajahn Brahm. I have been his translator, so I remember translating this simile in front of him, and it is the simile of an emperor. An emperor, and some of you who have been in these retreats may recall, and your whole experience right now is to uncover and isolate and find out who this emperor is. And this emperor is covered with 5 layers of cloth. 5 layers of stuff. High boots, there is a helmet, a face mask, and the upper shirt and the trouser, and all these are made of strong metal like material, so the emperor is invisible. These 5 things are to be removed in order for you to see whether it is a he or she inside there, because you only see eyes and you can't tell so much by looking at eyes. But it's a powerful emperor, very powerful. So these layers, you take the boots off, you only can tell little about the emperor. You take layers and layers off, then only the emperor becomes visible, and there you learn about this emperor, whether this emperor can be defeated or can be made friends with. So who this emperor is? Yes, your mind is the emperor, which has these 5 layers: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, physical sensations are the layers that you will slowly take off. In order to take off seeing, you close your eyes. You are free from that. To remove hearing, you are not really removing it. It's there for a reason. You need to hear for your security and protection. That has been the practice of humans for many eras. So you do hear, but you don't send brain signals to investigate what they are. So slowly hearing will not be a problem. Smelling, we don't burn incense here, so you don't smell. Nobody wears perfume. I didn't smell any, so that is not disturbing. If you do smell something and that you don't know what it is, just don't have to inquire about it, ignore. But when you do insight practice, please use it as an instrument to cultivate your practice. And tasting, you are not really tasting anything right now, so that layer will be off. But when you are chewing something and savoring something, tasting something, be mindful. When I say be mindful, what it means is that if you just analyze that experience, that's all you need to do, with the intention of getting rid of any craving that may arise. So seeing things as they actually become is an amazing way to work on the self, this wrong view that there is a self, and also a way to overcome any greed and attachment. So then tasting, after that you got physical sensations to deal with. If your body has any achings and pains, change your posture or go back and sit in a pew or in a comfortable place and find a chair, but sit steady, not too rigid, because sometimes those you can see, like those people who are very firm on their posture, and you may feel jealous that they are doing good practice. In fact, they are the people who may give up sooner than those who are nodding and taking a fun ride in their meditation practice. Those also among the monks, they are the ones to stay, not those ones who are show-off kind, who show that I can sit properly for 2 hours, but they may not be actually practicing. What you see maybe is a deceiving thing that you are seeing. So when you have taken off seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and physical sensations, which mean you are sitting comfortably and you are not disturbed from any external disturbances, the emperor is what is left, which is your mind. Thinking is what is left. So now you need to work on what you think, what you feed into the mind, and slowly see if you can identify what arises and what passes away. Things that happened 30 years ago, you may trigger those because of various unknown reasons. Some things, seeing a bell reminds you something that may have happened 30 years ago. Going to a place where there is a different vibration, you may, trigger something else. That's how our experience change based on what we feel, what we experience. And that's okay, that's totally normal. But with practice, you are able to change your view and understanding about it and not getting caught in it. So, deal with the emperor as much as possible, uncover it, uncover the power of it, and use the emperor for your improvement and development and betterment. Okay? I need to go through the schedule, but before that I will tell the other simile, which is the lotus nature of the mind. I always share that because it's beautiful. This also I learned from Ajahn Brahm actually. So I'm grateful to him for teaching this. So just imagine that this mind is like a little lotus that is slowly blooming, and the outer layers of this lotus, they are covered with dust and they are little gross petals. But when they open, just like when your mind opens, outer layer, the surface is kind of has hindrances and disturbing stuff. But when it opens, you see the beauty, more fragrance, the delicate petals, more beauty in them. How do they open? One layer opens and you stay there with more wisdom, more sunlight coming, and another layer will open right inside. You don't try to open it, you allow it to open. You only keep your striving going. Right striving here is important, not to indulge in unwholesome stuff, not to arouse, make them arise. Is arouse is a proper word to use? Yeah, not to arouse them. Because sensual arousal is also a word, but that's not what we mean here. So, not to let them arise, and you also need to prevent things that may arise. And what is wholesome, allow them to cultivate, and if it has not been arisen, make conditions for them to arise. So these four things are important. Catching the unwholesome things and preventing them, those two, and catching the wholesome things and cultivating them. Get it? So, I think those are like catching, cultivating, catching, cultivating. So, these 4 C's are important. Always do the 4 C's in your meditation. And if you recognize things, release them. No tension there, always relax. Recognize, release, relax, and return to your practice. So these 4 C's and 4 R's are important. Okay? Cultivating, catching, cultivating, catching, cultivating, and then recognizing, releasing, relaxing and returning. Don't have to remember them, but they will happen automatically in a second when you are just aware of it. So, you all are little lotuses, including me, and these lotuses are going to bloom with practice. We got, like some people are attending only on Saturdays, some people are attending only on Sundays. So, you will see people coming in and going. Just have a welcome attitude. Don't look grumpy. Smiling is always allowed, and but talking may disturb their meditation, so I discourage that. Even coming to talk to me, just give me a signal and I will go to a quiet place, and then there we will talk. But talk very, very light and less, and just enough, and something that supports your meditation. So I didn't tell you what really Vipassana is in practical sense. How do we do Vipassana in practice? That's why we have a sutra printed, and we use the discourse on the 4 establishments of mindfulness. This is a very, very general translation which I liked very much, and we have used this in our Monday Sutra discussion, and because it's a long sutra, I'm not even sure if we have the time to finish this within this 2 days of retreat. But and I have also given you a printout on dependent co-arising, which is called conditional arising. So, and if you look at the other piece of paper, which is the schedule, if you have it, and from now on until 9:30, which is now it is 9 o'clock, we are doing guided meditation, and then 9:30 to 10:30 a quiet group sitting in this hall. So we sit as a group, and 10:30 to 11:30 on Sunday, that is tomorrow, I will do personal interviews only of people who are having questions, who need to talk to me personally. There is a library room downstairs, and there is a chair and then cushions placed, so you may come and wait there at your time, and I will be there, so you can ask the questions. And for your individual practice, others who are not coming to see me, you will sit here. So because we need to allocate time, we only give 10 minutes for each person, so please put your name in the piece of paper outside at the desk, and there is a piece of paper, and you may enter your name to get that time. From 11:30 to 12:15 we will have a mindful lunch silently, and 12:15 to 1 o'clock we will have a walking meditation, and we may have our Renu, physical therapist, she may do exercise. She is not here this morning yet. She will get here after lunch to do the awareness through movement practice. And we also need to include either today or tomorrow or on both days, depending on any responses I will get. Antonio will do a singing bowl meditation with our group. We will make a circle, and he loves offering it. So we will also use our insight practice to incorporate into something like a singing bowl meditation, just to have like an advertisement during our teledrama of the retreat. Okay, so 2 to 3 is a sitting practice, and then 3 to 3:15 we get a tea break, and then 3:15 to 3:45 group sitting. 3:45 to 4:30 we have a question and answer session. Put your questions in that box out there, and that ends today's practice. That's all we need to know about the schedule for both days. Now, so I think we will continue our discussion, because we get a quiet group sitting time, I think, which can be also a guided meditation time. So let's oh, that's a good question. Where do we walk? Outside? It's nice and warm outside. So I think the hall is, when you, not the kitchen area, but behind that, between the large kitchen and you can walk in that area. Go towards the daycare, former daycare area, or if it is comfortable for you, and you may walk here as well, where there is less traffic. So yeah, so that's yeah, for walking you may use that space. And so let's begin with this little piece of paper, which is conditional arising. And I'm going to read the Pali, and if you are, do you have it? I think we have enough printouts outside on the desk. And you may join me if you like, just for the Pali, and then we'll go back to English. Avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya viññānaṃ, viññāna paccaya nama rūpaṃ, nama rūpa paccaya salayatanaṃ, salayatana paccaya bhasso, phassa paccaya vedana, vedana paccaya tanha, tanha paccaya upadānaṃ, upadāna paccaya bhavo, bhava paccaya jati, jati paccaya jara maranaṃ, soka parideva, dukkha domanasupāyāsa sambhavanti. Eva me tassa kevalassa dukkhakkhandhassa samudayo hoti. Avijjāyatveva asesa viraga nirodha sankhara nirodho, sankhara nirodha viññāna nirodho, viññāna nirodha nama rūpa nirodho, nama rūpa nirodha salayatana nirodho, salayatana nirodha phassa nirodho, phassa nirodha vedana nirodho, vedana nirodha tanha nirodho, tanha nirodha upadāna nirodho, upadāna nirodha bhava nirodho, bhava nirodha jati nirodho, jati nirodha jara maranaṃ, soka parideva dukkha domanasupāyāsa nirujjhanti. Eva me tassa kevalassa dukkhakkhandhassa nirodho hoti. And then the next one is the first words of the Buddha, which is called the Patama Buddha Vacanaṃ. The first words. Aneka jati sansāraṃ sandhā vissaṃ anibbisaṃ gahakārakaṃ gave santo dukkha jati punappunaṃ gahakāraka diṭṭhosi punagehaṃ nakāhasi sabbāte phāsukā bhaggā gahakūtaṃ visaṅkhitaṃ visaṅkhāra gataṃ cittaṃ tanhānaṃ khaya majjhagāti. Right. Let's get back to English. Because of ignorance, there are volitional processes. Because of volitional processes, consciousness. Because of consciousness, mind and body. Because of mind and body, the six sense spheres. Because of the six sense spheres, contact. Because of contact, feeling. Because of feeling, craving. Because of craving, attachment. Because of attachment, continuation. Because of continuation, birth. Because of birth, old age, death, grief, lamentation, pain, sorrow, and despair all originate. And so this whole mass of suffering comes to arise. But with the complete fading away and cessation of ignorance, there is the cessation of volitional processes. With the cessation of volitional processes, the cessation of consciousness. With the cessation of consciousness, the cessation of mind and body. With the cessation of mind and body, the cessation of the six sense spheres. With the cessation of six sense spheres, the cessation of contact. With the cessation of contact, the cessation of feeling. With the cessation of feeling, the cessation of craving. With the cessation of craving, the cessation of attachment. With the cessation of attachment, the cessation of continuation. With the cessation of continuation, the cessation of birth. With the cessation of birth, old age, death, grief, lamentation, pain, sorrow, and despair all cease. And so there is a cessation of this whole mass of suffering. Through the round of countless births, I have wandered without finding the house builder I was seeking, born and suffering again and again. O house builder, now you are seen, you will not build the house again. All your rafters have been broken, and the ridge pole has been destroyed. My mind has reached the unconditioned, and craving's end has been achieved. Now, slowly put it aside. Don't even try to wrestle with it, because we are going to this before we begin analyzing it. Now, reading the discourse on the four establishments of mindfulness, please read page 1 with me. I heard these words of the Buddha one time when he was living at Kammasadharma, a market town of the Kuru people. The Buddha addressed the monks, O monks, and the monks replied, Venerable Lord. The Buddha said, Monks, there is a most wonderful way to help living beings realize purification, overcome directly grief and sorrow, end pain and anxiety, travel the right path, and realize nirvana. This way is the four establishments of mindfulness. What are the four establishments? Monks, a practitioner remains established in the observation of the body in the body, diligent, with clear understanding, mindful, having abandoned every craving and every distaste for this life. He remains established in the observation of the feelings in the feelings, diligent, with clear understanding, mindful, having abandoned every craving and every distaste for this life. He remains established in the observation of the mind in the mind, diligent, with clear understanding, mindful, having abandoned every craving and every distaste for this life. He remains established in the observation of the objects of mind in the objects of mind, diligent, with clear understanding, mindful, having abandoned every craving and every distaste for this life. And how does a practitioner remain established in the observation of the body in the body? He goes to the forest, to the foot of a tree, or to an empty room, sits down cross-legged in the lotus position, holds his body straight, and establishes mindfulness in front of him. He breathes in, aware that he is breathing in. He breathes out, aware that he is breathing out. When he breathes in a long breath, he knows, I am breathing in a long breath. When he breathes out a long breath, he knows, I am breathing out a long breath. When he breathes in a short breath, he knows, I am breathing in a short breath. When he breathes out a short breath, he knows, I am breathing out a short breath. Just as a skilled turner knows when he makes a long turn, I am making a long turn, and knows when he makes a short turn. I am making a short turn. So a practitioner, when he breathes in a long breath, knows I am breathing in a long breath. And when he breathes in a short breath, knows I am breathing in a short breath. When he breathes out a long breath, knows I am breathing out a long breath. And when he breathes out a short breath, knows I am breathing out a short breath. He uses the following practice. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing in, I calm the activities of my body. Breathing out, I calm the activities of my body. This is how a practitioner observes the body in the body. He observes the inside of the body or the outside of the body. So remember, this part is insight, Vipassana. And this part is repeated 22 times in this entire discourse. If you count, you may find it in the extended version. It may not be here in this printout. But this is the part on Vipassana that we need to compare with that throughout the 2 days, understand how these are connected and how you put it into practice. Okay, let's start from the beginning again. On that page 2, this is how a practitioner observes the body in the body. He observes the inside of the body or the outside of the body, or both the inside and the outside of the body. He observes the process of coming to be in the body, or the process of dissolution in the body, or both the process of coming to be and the process of dissolution. Or he is mindful of the fact there is a body here until understanding and full awareness come about. He maintains the observation free, not caught up in any worldly consideration. This is how to practice observation of the body in the body, O monks. And then the Buddha gives more examples, and then also say this is also a way to practice mindfulness in the body. And then this part is given. And now we read the dependent co-arising. Usually the best translation is dependent co-arising. So because they arise together and they perish together. And when you did this reading, you found out that you read about the breathing practice. So the goal is to connect the breathing practice to what we just read. And how do we do that? We have discussed this in our Sinhala discussion and also on our Monday's discussion. So experts, come forward, please. I'm looking at some experts. And okay, let's slow down here. He observes the inside of the body. So what is the inside of the body? The senses, right? Your senses. How many senses are there? 5 senses, and the sixth one is the mind. So, and somebody will translate this as he observes the body internally. So, internally or inside, the Pali word for that is ajjhatta. Sinhala word is adhyatmika. And all that you need to know is the 6 sense bases are what you call internal or inside when it comes to Dharma language. Right? So what is the outside then? Speak up, speak louder. Yep.